Every family has a choice, follow the herd or carve their own path. This is the Lone Wolf Podcast. Are you ready to stray from the pack?
Welcome to the Lone Wolf Podcast. Hello!
Hey, you're back.
Hello, everybody.
Where you been?
Been here, been there, been everywhere.
Okay, Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
You've been really on a Dr. Seuss kick today.
Have I?
Yeah, you did
What else did I do?
you did a very similar thing this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
What was it about? I don't remember.
I don't know what you say, what you do, or I just may,
Take a poo?
in my shoe, and paint this whole damn room blue. So let's begin. Let's move on now.
I hope other people
Okay.
think we're funny.
Probably not.
Other than ourselves. I just gotta say, the premise of the title of this podcast today has me thinking about what it's like podcasting with you.
What do you mean? A great time?
A really good time.
You look really pretty right now.
Okay, you're just trying to make
No,
sure
I don't know if it's like this light or what, but you look like you just, walked out of a romance novel.
Okay. You're just trying to make sure I don't shit talk you on this episode right now, huh?
I could never.
You're trying to really work me? Work me?
Work you.
I was gonna say milk me, but that doesn't sound right.
I could
I
milk
know
you.
you could, yeah. Only one side of me, but yeah. Anyway, if
Okay.
it just had me thinking about when we try to make ads, you and I both just laugh so hard. Like literally the hardest I think I've laughed since like high school is when we're making ads together.
Well, it starts with you laughing at me
100%, yeah.
because I'm a perfectionist. I have trouble reading ads. All right? I'm going to come out there and say it.
Yeah, he has a really hard time. And you know what I was thinking? I think
It's not a natural thing to do.
I seem to not have a problem with it.
I can read really good.
Yeah, I can actually.
I need glasses.
So do I.
Okay.
You know that I do. But I was thinking just for this episode that I should put in the ad that I saved. Don't say anything about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop it in there as one of our ads. So I recommend you guys listen all the way through because you're gonna think it's legit, and then it's gonna take a really big turn.
All right.
But I was thinking maybe this is the episode that I sneak that one in and see if y'all are paying attention.
Give the people what they want or what they don't want.
Yeah, what they don't even know they need.
You decide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how would you feel if you had to date right now?
If I just start dating people right now, I'd fucking blow my brains up.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible. And I know that's probably a general consensus for most people that are happily married.
I think even people who are currently dating are like,
you're right.
That sounds terrible.
And I think it depends on where they're at in life and their age.
Yeah.
But honestly, even like being young and dating right now sounds terrible. But I had a conversation recently with a coworker that is an older male and single.
Yeah.
And he basically was like,
what is older? Like how old?
Like early 50s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Married before?
No.
Wow.
No kids. And just kind of asking him about like, what's he doing? And he kind of just said like, I don't even try really anymore. It's kind of sad because I'm like,
just giving up.
Yeah, like he doesn't want to pursue anybody. He says just kind of like he hasn't been dating at all recently. It's just the situation is more work than it is pleasure. And it's like he doesn't have the energy to do it anymore, he said.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's speaking on the dating scene, or do you think that's speaking on the like individualism of like where we've kind of gotten as people in society?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's a part of him that is now like, as men get older and you get kind of set in certain ways and you start to just care less about what people think and like the image, and like
it's like a natural part of aging, I feel.
as you grow as a man and you only have to rely on taking care of yourself, and you've accepted that this is your reality now, and it might be extremely lonely and you might want companionship, I feel like
the trade-off is not like worth
and I feel like it's one of those things that after a certain age you kind of feel like I missed my shot and now it's an inconvenience. At least that's what I gathered from this person. And again, it's everybody's different. And I know
it's so complex. Like it really has my brain spinning.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I also feel that there are so many things in society now where we are sold these ideas of like quick companionship almost.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
Where you could feel really uncomfortable in being single, but then you could go get a hit of like something that makes you be like, oh, okay. I mean, that made me feel something. And then it's like enough to kind of keep you kind of working towards the next day or week or whatever it is. And then that feeling's going to settle in again. And then you can just go hit a quick convenience thing. And
there's so many things you can do now without having real human interaction.
You could literally date ChatGPT.
I was just going to say, I got in a fight with ChatGPT.
Yeah, you did.
A little bit ago. And I had to show that little bitch who's in charge, at least for now, before they take over. And then I remember that time. But yeah, But
I also think, like, for you, what would be your, like, reasons why dating right now sounds terrible? Because I think that there's a general consensus that everybody kind of agrees, but I personally think that the reasoning for everybody would be different.
For me personally, I think that having to pretend and put on because you kind of have to put on like, you have to be on your best behavior and you have to put on a mask and do this like song and dance to like peacock.
Attract your prey.
Peacock. You gotta like with the feathers out, you know, and like try to like flex and show like that you are somebody that's worth spending time with.
Yeah.
But then it's also vetting somebody to see if you actually give a fuck about what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like, and if they're saying anything of substance and it's past I think you're hot.
Yes.
Because that fades pretty quickly as you get older, especially when you're younger, you can put up with more bullshit.
Yeah.
Just because the person's hot.
Like,
okay, what you're saying means absolutely nothing to me.
Yeah.
And I don't care about your skincare routine, but yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that fades though as you start life planning and you're realizing what means something to you and what you actually want in life. I think that you start to see through the glamour of, does this person look good with me?
Yeah.
And it becomes more about, does this person align with what I believe, and do they contribute to my happiness on a personal level of, are we fulfilling the same objective of creating a family or raising children or doing any of that stuff?
Yeah.
But you gotta that sounds treacherous right now to go out into the world with the way that people think and this just surface level conversations to try to figure out if you want to spend your life with somebody.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh. God. Sounds scary.
Especially because we're so deep in our ways now. I'm like,
well, you and I would be fucked.
We'd
if
be
you
so
died,
fucked.
The next person to come along, I'd be like, you just don't have a chance.
Yeah, you just don't. This is going to be really generalized, but I feel like there's almost like two groups of people maybe in the like dating pool, or not in the dating pool, but I think in this conversation of like dating sounds terrible in that pool of people. I think there's the people where like that sounds terrible because they know it takes work and sacrifice, and like that sounds really terrible to people. Like, God forbid I'd have to actually like
go out of my way.
Yeah, like clean up after myself and like give a shit about somebody else's feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I think there's another, and again, I'm totally generalizing by only creating two groups here. But
that's
then I
what
think
we do here. We just generalize. So.
But I think there is the other group of people that are, I know you and I are maybe a little more on the side of the teeter-totter here, but I think that then there's the other group of people that are like, oh my gosh, it's so hard to discern what's real out there. And like,
Yeah.
it sounds like frightening to try to like build trust and connection with somebody where you just don't know their intentions and you don't know, like, you know, it just sounds really, you said treacherous. I like that word.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the two people that you have
Yeah.
out there. And that's the problem, is they start commingling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think that's how I've
Mhm.
always felt in the dating world, is
Yeah.
like, yes, I've become more convicted in my ways as I've gotten older, but I've always had a very like awake mindset to things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scary to go out there and try to date, because I like bring my all into a dating situation, and most people are not going to be even meeting me halfway.
Could you imagine going to a restaurant with somebody and trying to like,
I already know where you're going.
not even just going to the restaurant. Let's stop before we get to the restaurant. Taking the restaurant. Like, you're going on a first date and someone's like, "Hey, I want to take you out." And you're like, "Okay, where were you thinking?" And they're like, "Well, I know this really great place, you know, it's at the Bellagio. We can go." And they're like, "That sounds really good. Do you know, by chance, do they use seed oils? Do they cook with seed oils?" What? They're like, "I don't know. You know what? Just give me like 5 places and I'll look into it and I'll get back to you."
And then it turns into like Portlandia, where you're like sitting there ordering and you're like, actually, this chicken, how many acres were they raised on?
What was his name?
Were they separated from their family members?
You know, we're actually going to go check out the farm real quick and we'll come back.
Yeah, that's what it would turn into.
Yeah.
You know what's I think really cool is the collagen. This is not sponsored, guys. Okay, I would love it to be, but he's very exclusive. The collagen that we use, carnivore Aurelius. Aurelius. I can never say that word.
Carnivore Aurelius.
Yep, I never say it correct,
Yeah.
and I probably won't.
Okay.
Anyway, he created a dating app. Did you know this?
No.
Yeah, he created a dating app, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like, if I had to go out into the dating
For weirdos
world,
like us?
yeah, I'd skip it all, and I'd only, yeah, he vets you, and you have to like answer like questionnaires and stuff, and then you can like, it then is only pools of people who like sun their ball sack, because that's like something he's really into, and like, except for we live on a walking trail, but
So it's my house. People from the dog park be walking by, be like, "I'll see you up there in a minute." 5 more minutes on these suckers. We're just getting cooking. Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. I'm gonna do it.
I know. Yeah, well, maybe you should. But yeah, like it's just all people who like eat real food and like,
nice.
You know,
I love that.
Align with a lot of Even then though, you know that there's like the people who are like, yeah, I do all this stuff and whatever, and then you're gonna talk to them and be like,
yeah. Well, the more that I think about it, like the people that sign up for that dating app might not be it.
I know, I was gonna say, honestly, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, actually pass.
Yeah.
I would just rather not date at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. No thanks.
Back to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board we go.
So when we met,
which was, well, I guess it's only November.
Things were a little different.
But we're almost around that time of year where, yeah.
Well, and I think, we had a very unique situation.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah. One was our, I think we tell our story about how we met already?
I think we did.
We did. Yeah. And I was the perfect gentleman.
Yeah.
And that led to a wonderful relationship. So.
And that's it. No more details to be had there.
But anyways, for us, it was a little different because not only was I getting you, I was getting a child, like a very young child.
Mm-hmm.
So our family or our relationship didn't start as just me and you figuring things out. It started as a family of 3.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we had to learn quickly about a lot of stuff that doesn't come until later on in life.
Mm-hmm.
So you have automatically, there's this dynamic of raising a child and taking care of them and feeding them and what priorities we have as far as how they're going to be raised or what kind of schooling they're going to do. So we had these conversations right from the jump.
Yep.
And to our benefit, I think helped a lot because we got to know each other on a much deeper level as parents before even getting to know each other personally. It was kind of like it happened all at once.
I mean, most people are like 5 years into a relationship before those types of things are even on the table.
That's what I'm saying.
And we were like 5 weeks in.
Well, and you could fall in love with somebody and grow with them and talk about all that stuff.
Yeah.
But then the situation could arise and you have a child and you start coming up upon like different knowledge that you didn't, or different information that you hadn't heard before.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, wow, this actually makes a lot of sense. And your partner could be like, what are you talking about? That's stupid. Like,
yeah.
And then all of a sudden now you have this clash of ideas.
I see this a lot. Like, as somebody who works in birth work, I see this often.
Yeah.
And a lot, and it starts even just with the decisions around like how you're going to give birth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we see it so often where there's this divide of like the woman, and it goes both ways. We have had, sometimes where the man is like, my mom had all her babies at home and blah, blah, blah. And like, this is what we're going to do. And the wife is a little more like, I don't know how I feel about that. But more often than not, it's like the woman is like, I've done this research. This is what I connect with. This is what I align to. Like, I don't want to be in the hospital. I don't want to have my baby in that way. Like, this is where I want to be. And the dads are like, this is crazy. I don't like it. I don't trust it. We need a trial run. She's not allowed to. This is my kid too. Like, she better give birth in the hospital to be safe. And then maybe I would consider, something after the fact, whatever. And like, I feel like all these things are like opportunities in a marriage to really like build your bond.
Yeah.
Or not, you know what I mean? Or do the opposite to almost kind of tear you apart. And what a crazy way to like enter.
That would be devastating.
I know. I mean, it breaks my heart. It's really, really hard to watch because like I've done like tours of our birth center with families like this before, and you can just see it in her face that this is what she wants, and he's just so like, I just can't do it,
right? And to feel like shame, and like your partner is saying that you're taking a more dangerous, unorthodox route to having the child or bringing the child into the world that'd be awful.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you're like, hey, I really want to have a home birth, and like this is something you just discovered and you've noticed all the benefits of it and you've been doing a ton of research and you're explaining it to your husband who might not even care enough to understand.
Yeah.
And two, he's going, you're crazy. We need to go to the hospital. Like what, this is dangerous.
And there's no like room for
discussion. You're practicing witchcraft.
Yeah. And there's no room for discussion.
Yeah.
So like, then this woman's literally then going to go to an environment where she doesn't want to be and doesn't feel safe or right to birth your child.
Because her husband wasn't willing to educate himself.
Yeah.
Or learn about what they're actually talking about.
And I don't mean to take this shift and say, this is all like, if you're not having home birth, your marriage is doomed. Like the point is the concept of just like,
it's understanding your partner. You need to understand and know.
And there has to be this room for like, it was just feeding off of what you were saying, this idea that like, I hear this so often in mom circles where it's always like, I really want to do this, but my husband just, feels this way.
Yeah.
And so they just, I don't know, there's just this big divide. And then I think it creates so much room for like resentment and disappointment. And I don't know, it really can break a marriage apart.
And I think that's important too. Like the willingness to learn and change your mind together.
And I think that's the big thing is that a lot of these early on decisions I had already made for Holland. Like those were already made.
Right.
When you and I came together.
Yeah.
We are now like kind of figuring out going from there. But even then I had a lot of control and I had a really hard time like letting you even do like bedtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
like it was really hard for me to let you take any of the caregiving stuff.
Sure.
Like,
and I think that you were also coming from a place of like protection that it was you and her.
Yeah. And I knew how to do it right. Like I knew how to do it to make sure that everything was met for her. And I was in such a like, I don't depend on anyone else.
Right.
Like I make this happen for my child. And if I give some of that to you, then there's potential that you could hurt both of us.
Right. Or let you down. And then it's back to you trying to figure out how to do it by yourself.
To do it again. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But we both had to have openness and communication to navigate all of that together. Like the stuff that came after,
Yeah.
And then now, I mean, like I have even more evolved views on like our children.
But we've grown.
But
we've grown
we've done them together.
Right.
I don't think there's a single thing that you and I butt heads on.
No, it's like we have an openness and an honesty to our relationship that we can bounce ideas off of each other without feeling judged.
And you know what else I think it is too? It's not just openness and honesty, but it's trust.
Yeah.
Like I trust that if you were to bring something to my attention, I know that it would be in the best like benefit of our family or of me or of our children, or
Right.
like I trust that you would not bring something in
Right.
that would be like illogical
Right.
or unresearched or unsupported or
And on that note, even if it is something that we don't end up agreeing is the right thing for us, I could bring something to the table and you would know that what I'm bringing to the table has the best intention behind it. Because we've both cohesively said what we're doing here is trying to be the best parent, the best husband, the best wife. Yep. And we've shown that in a number of ways. So if we do bring something to the table and I'm like, hey, have you looked into this? Have you seen it? And you're like, oh, I actually have. I don't think it's right for us. And you explain it. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. But you'll entertain it because you know that that's something that I was bringing to the table to benefit.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There's such
that's a problem with a lot of relationships. It's almost like a competition that they like, because you brought this idea to the table, even if it is beneficial, I'm going to shut it down because I wasn't the one who had the idea. And I think that's a very, very toxic situation to be in.
I feel like it comes really naturally for us though. Don't you feel like I don't feel like it's something that I have to like intentionally think on or put effort towards. It feels very natural.
Yeah, I think that we've kind of always been that way though.
I feel like we have.
I mean, we argue sometimes.
Everybody does.
But it's like, it's never like a blow up argument.
But we argue over stupid stuff where like we view something the same. We're just like bringing different perspective to the same thing. And we're like arguing on the like detail of it. And then we just get lost down the battle of like, who's right.
Yeah.
It's even like an ego thing. Then
we're both arguing the same point.
The same thing. Yeah.
But then it ends up who's arguing it better.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got into this and it was very expedited and things moved very fast because it had to, because there was another life at play.
Yeah.
And those big conversations that you can, when you're younger, you can kind of like there's this ideal in your head of like, this is what my marriage is going to be like. This is what my relationships are going to be like. And you start to quickly realize as you grow in different relationships that that's not the case at all. And that being with somebody and growing with somebody is a lot more, it's a lot murkier than it's not a clear cut picture.
Yeah.
And that there are like, you have to grow together as two people, and you have to know that that person is willing to adapt and change their minds on certain things and evolve with you.
Yeah.
Because if they're not, that's when you're going to run into problems. Like if you're with somebody that is only going to stick to their guns and they're married to their ideas, that the marriage to the idea is going to trump the marriage to the person.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So I think
totally does.
And we figured that early on. We knew that we could roll with the punches and that we could figure things out together, and that ultimately we were both working cohesively to make a marriage that worked, in a relationship that worked, in a family that could grow and flourish.
Well, there's honestly some beauty too in just that we got this almost opportunity to like see each other as mother and father too, knowing that you and I both wanted to have a family.
Yeah.
And to get almost this like opportunity to see it in real time before we decided like, let's get married and make this like an official, sign the court document thing. I think that was probably one of the biggest things for me, especially because this is my second marriage, that I've already done that with somebody else and seen them become a parent, and not to say that that wasn't we weren't both, good in those roles, but it was just really different to see, I don't know, you come in, and I know we've spoken on this before, but where you're doing it 100% out of choice, not
Right.
duty or,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, it was also nice for me to be able to like see how you interacted with your child and like how much you loved her and how she was your number one priority.
Yeah.
And for me, knowing that I wanted children outside of the fact that like you and I were like the conversations we had were great. We aligned on a lot of
Mhm.
on everything that we were talking about. We had the same goals, we had the same interests, we had a lot of the same
Like kind of
hobbies that we
outlook
wanted to
on,
do. Yeah. So we,
yeah.
and there were so many things that were immediately I was like, man, she's awesome and I
Mhm.
love her. But then I got to see you be a parent and be a mom, and that added an entirely different aspect that
Mhm.
made me fall in love with you even more.
I was going to say, I think it just allows like love to grow so
Yeah.
much quicker and deeper when you get to
Right.
see the like selflessness of like, it's different to love a man or love a woman because
Mhm.
like I get things from you
Right.
and you get things from me.
Right.
But from a 1-year-old, like
Right.
you get hugs and kisses, which are
Yeah.
amazing and lovely, but
Right.
like that's really it. It's such a like selfless act
Yeah.
to like love and take care of this very dependent little human
Right.
that I think it just builds that like trust and security and
Mhm.
love towards somebody to like watch that happen in real time,
Yeah.
that it just makes the decision of like, let's get married, like this
Yeah.
will be great, you
What
know.
I think also like there's a lot of parents and moms and dads that maybe are single and are dating and doing all that stuff that are looking for every opportunity to escape being a mom or a dad and pawn that off on like a grandparent or something like that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case with you. It was like
Mm-hmm.
you were number one priority was Holland.
Her. Yeah.
And if we could fit in a date outside of that, then we did.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like, let's, please take me away from my situation.
Right.
It was like, hey, here's my situation. I
Yeah.
love it if you want to be involved.
Yes, exactly.
And
Like,
I loved that.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to like be a part of it,
Right.
then prove to me that you
Yeah.
do, and if you don't, then
Right.
see it. Like this
Yeah.
isn't changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely very confident in
Right.
like what my priorities were and like what I had room for,
Right.
you know, almost too much, I think, in some ways. But
Yeah. Well, no. I mean,
I was in a hard place, you
well,
know,
yeah,
where,
that's yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
just I
Yeah.
was very hardened in a lot of ways that,
That's for sure.
yeah,
It took a little bit to break down those walls.
yeah, it did.
Which makes sense.
But you were patient with it and you were
Yeah.
never forceful in any way, or,
Yeah.
you know. I'm curious what your thoughts are on why do you think that in kind of today's world, more people are waiting to get married or like kind of skipping it altogether? Because
Mm.
don't you think that like our parents' generation, like everybody's at least, I grew up in a small town and I know that sometimes that like can skew my like perspective on things, but like everybody's mom and dad were like high school sweethearts and everybody got married when they were like 20,
Mhm.
and then like that was just standard, you know.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of like, we know so many like 40-50-year-olds who are still single, never been married, don't have kids. Even yourself, that's why I'm kind of curious for
Yeah.
your perspective. You were 34
34?
when we got married.
Yeah. Mm. I think that there's probably a lot of different outside interference. Like as
Okay.
far as like I think people are more easily satisfied without finding a partner now because of convenience and because of
Yep.
apps and
Yep.
porn
Yep.
and
Food delivery services.
yeah, like you could sit at home and watch Netflix and watch porn and then order some food
Watch pretty
and
girls on the dating shows
suck
and
your thumb to sleep and
yeah.
not worry.
Yeah.
So there's so many different outside influences that have made it easier to be alone. Not to
Mhm.
mention there's an aspect, and you and I had talked about this a little bit before, but like there's this aspect of an agenda that is pushing for people
Mhm.
to be more isolated and be independent and do you and self-love and don't settle and pick the right person or just be by yourself
All the
because
single
you don't need
ladies.
anybody. Yeah, you don't need a man. You don't need a woman.
Yeah.
It's all about
Don't
you.
need no man. That thing.
It's a very self-centered marketing. But when you look at it and you zoom out and you look back and you go, why is that the way that things are trending right now? Why is that the way that corporations are marketing? Why would the system want people to be individualized rather than find a partner, cohesively make a family, and become dependent upon the people around you immediately? And you look at it and you go, that person that's single has their own either rent or mortgage. They have all of their own individual subscriptions. They're on a number of different dating apps that they potentially pay for. They have their own grocery bills. They have their own food delivery service. They have their own, whatever it may be, therapists. They need to talk to, whatever. They're paying for an OnlyFans because they need that companionship. So what they've done is they've jumped into this consumer market where they are getting fed by paying their money to meet the needs that a family would actually fulfill if they had the ability to sacrifice and be a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that's the nature of this modern world is comfort, convenience, be by yourself. It's much easier. You don't have to deal with anybody else's emotions or feelings. You don't have to deal with the responsibility of providing or taking care of anybody else. It's just you. Take care of you.
Yeah.
If you're fed, if you're happy, if you're entertained, and happy is very loose because I think a lot of people are depressed when they're in that situation.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think that is predominantly where that, like, why we're in the situation that we're in right now.
Do you think that we're designed to be that way?
No, I don't think so. I mean, to say that we're designed to not be working as a unit and as a family seems crazy, because when everybody's got a role, everybody's got a job, and everybody's got
purpose,
which you'll find in a family unit. Before the modern family now, those roles and purposes have kind of been stripped.
Yeah, they've really disintegrated.
Unless you take it upon yourself to make those roles and purposes and relationships actually happen, you can pay for everything too. You can individualize a family and strip the foundation.
I think the exact same propaganda is pushed on the family unit as well.
100%.
It's almost like we're going to try to catch everybody while they're single and try to keep them that way and push them into this corner and make them, this ultimate consumer.
Yeah.
But if they slip through the cracks and they find themselves, a wife or a husband, don't worry, we have a plan for that too.
Right. Right. Like we're going to catch you on the back end.
Yeah, we'll catch you there.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Yeah.
And we'll also make sure that we so conveniently integrate things in there to make sure we're programming your children to be programmed that way from the get-go, so we don't really have to worry about them down the line.
Your kids need an iPad.
Yep.
Your kids need daycare.
Yep.
Mom needs to go to work because dad doesn't make enough money to afford the house that the neighbors have.
Yeah.
It's keeping up with the Joneses.
Yep.
It's, we didn't have time to cook tonight, so let's order out Uber Eats. Let's get Chinese food tonight. Oh,
who benefits when a family is anchored in their mission and thriving in their, unique roles?
Yeah, like the traditional family who benefits?
Who benefits? If we had a bunch of traditional families in modern society, who's benefiting?
The family.
Yeah.
The kids.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah. The
How
parents.
crazy is that?
It's insane. And who benefits when the individual decides that nobody else needs to be taken care of except for themselves?
Yep.
And that you are now reliant upon only the need to consume.
Yep.
And convenience.
I know.
And comfort.
Just
it's sad.
Being pacified by all this modern convenience. And then you wonder why everybody's mentally ill and struggling. It's a really insane time to I don't know, be a family. I was going to say raising kids, but it's not just that part of it. It's just being a family in general. I think that we get weird looks from people sometimes because we like each other so much. We're like, let's start a podcast together.
Yeah, and I think corporations do a really good job of marketing to people that, they being the individual and being independent and doing your own thing, like they do a really good job of making it feel like you're being brave for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like corporations aren't trying to break your family. They're trying to be your family.
Ew.
They're trying to take that role from you. Like they want to be your entertainment. They want to be your teacher.
Because you need to be dependent on them.
Yeah.
They have control if we give them dependency.
Yeah. They want to be your comfort. They want to be your therapist. They want to be whatever need you have personally that could be fulfilled by the immediate family around you. They want to strip that from you. They want to be that because your dollars go to feeding that machine.
Yeah. Ew. And if that makes you feel gross, good.
Yeah, because
that
it is
should.
gross.
It is gross.
It is gross.
We need to seriously rethink the family unit.
Yeah.
In the modern world,
yeah. And if you look around and you start to look at like these the advertising and the shift that they're making, they're kind of demonizing like the family and the roles in family.
100% they are.
Yeah, like they don't want you to be tight-knit with your family.
No.
Because what happens if you're tight-knit with your family? You and your family can cohesively talk and come up with different ideas and make a game plan and become self-reliant.
Yeah.
And you don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
And if you don't need them,
yeah,
then they don't exist.
Yeah. It makes them tremble in their boots.
And there's nothing more powerful than being a family that can look inward and solve your own problems than go, holy shit, we don't know what we're doing. Let's call one of the big corporations and make sure that, we can get our needs met. Your body is talking. Function Health helps you finally listen. Whether you're preparing for a pregnancy or simply chasing your best energy, mood, and health, understanding what's happening inside your body changes everything. With Function Health's comprehensive at-home lab testing, you'll get 100 plus data points about your hormones, fertility, metabolism, vitamins, inflammation, and more. All explained clearly and tracked over time. No more guessing, Googling, or hoping for the best. With real insight, you can support fertility naturally, optimize your cycle, boost energy, balance hormones, and feel amazing in your own skin. Because the first step to creating life or living yours to the fullest is truly that. Bye and go through you. Fuck yourself. That's the ad. And that's the ad.
I think I actually just peed my pants.
Alright, I'm out of here.
It kind of makes me think of this emasculation of men, which I think is so heavy right now.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's kind of been a newer thing that my eyes have been open to recently. I've kind of always, I don't know. To be honest, I think that I was more on the toxic masculinity train, just because that's what's so heavily programmed out there that I'm kind of oh yeah, I mean, you don't want some macho man, that's a threat to my femininity, and
they politicize that,
100%.
They make it something that if you hear toxic masculinity, you automatically, it's a trigger word to be I don't want to be that. I don't want a man that's like that,
because we'll literally outcast you from society if you have toxic masculinity. But I think that we have kind of emasculated men to the point of I grew up, you know this obviously, but I grew up with a dad who was very handy. My dad did everything. My dad did not call anyone.
Right.
If the pool pump went out, he's going to figure out how to fix it. If the car breaks down, he's going to fix it. If the roof blows off the house, he's going to rebuild it. Freaking sink leaks, he's going to fix it. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a guy who's going to call anybody. And this is before like YouTube and any of that stuff. My dad was a firefighter. He's not like he's some like handyman or carpenter or electrician or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He figured it all out because my dad absolutely refused to depend on somebody else to fix the problems that his family was facing.
Yeah.
And you do not see that anymore. Most men don't know how to change a tire.
Yeah.
They don't know how to change a light bulb.
Yeah.
They don't know how to like fix something if it breaks. And it's not, I'm not here to like shit on men. You know, that's not my goal at all. I think that there's just so many powers at play here, because why fix it when you could go to Amazon Prime and just buy a new one?
Right.
Why fix it when then you could go pay a bunch of other people?
I think that society is pushing men to be more reliant on services.
And I think potentially there's also a component of like, I'm just thinking back on, we've had a handful of things that you've had to fix recently.
Yeah.
But one of them was like your car stuff. Like, you were driving to work and all of a sudden your car's not working.
And I'm not a car guy. Like, I don't work on cars.
Right.
Yeah.
But you figured it out to get to work, like, you know, that day. Like, you figured it out and you were so excited. You were so pumped. It felt so good.
Yeah.
And I think about that and I'm like, that's what they don't want men to feel.
No, they don't want you to feel a sense of satisfaction
or pride
in figuring
ownership.
things out yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they want you to, if your car breaks, they want you to run to the nearest auto shop.
Well, because guess what? It's kind of addictive to men, because in my opinion, your brains are actually wired that way.
Yeah.
Because like, think of you, I don't know what was the very first thing in this house that you did. I know it wasn't the recessed lighting, because it was a pretty big like project,
but
it
was the bench.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, I feel like maybe you even started in COVID. You started like building some stuff, right? Like, you were building like garden pits. Like,
I've always been a guy that builds stuff though. Like, I've always been somebody who creates my own things.
But it's one of those things where like you start with that, and then all of a sudden, like, then we owned a home, you know, and so now it's kind of like, well, now like there's little things we could do here. And I think as a man, it's like my dad, like, what are you going to do? Call some other man to come in and fix your house?
Yeah.
Like, there's this own, and call that toxic.
Yeah.
But like, this is your home and you are the man of the household.
Right.
And it feels good as a man to be like, I know how to keep this house standing and the lights on and it be cozy and a place for my family to sleep at night live. And like, that is a natural feeling for men.
For sure.
And what happens is, if you get a taste of what it feels like to fix and repair something, you're going to want to do it again.
It's contagious.
Yeah. And now all of a sudden you can do electrical work. You can do plumbing work.
Drywall.
You can work on the car. You can do, like drywall. Like, now all of a sudden, like, you're kind of turning into a Jeff Fitty, which is my dad. Like, you're kind of turning into this guy who can like kind of fix anything. Like, and imagine if all the men were feeling that way.
Well, it's honestly, for me, there's like very little that's more satisfying than solving a problem that is directly affecting my family.
See?
Yeah.
And I don't think you're unique in that.
No.
I think that is part of like a man's design.
Yeah. I'm 100% with you. I think that is a natural in our DNA part of life as a man, that you want to fix things and you want to solve the problem and you want to provide and take care of your family.
And I think it almost like devalues that like role of the man in the house, when men in the modern world get almost complacent, comfortable with it, where you're just like, well, you know what? I could figure out how to fix it, but like, I don't know. They're right. I could just call someone.
Right. Or
I could just whatever. I have more important things.
And I'm
to
stressed
do than
out
that,
from my corporate job
that I need to go detach from. Like, so somebody else could just come fix it.
Yeah.
And then you just get complacent in this idea of not having any sort of like ownership or responsibility to your home or your family, or, you know.
Yeah. And I think that even if you like, there's the argument that like, even if you are a person that makes a lot of money and your time and effort goes into being focused on, you know, my time is money. And if I'm spending my time on fixing a small thing in my house when I could just pay somebody to have it done, that's fine. And I get that. But like at the end of the day, if there's a lot of men that have the money that still want to do those things and still want to have that role because it's satisfying for them.
I personally feel that every man actually has it.
Yeah.
I think that it's literally part of the design of a man.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that
And of course there's spectrums to all of this. Like not every man wants to be like a handyman or do all those things, but remove that as the context.
Right.
And just think in general, like we're saying, like men want to have like purpose and mission and fulfillment, and like that's what makes men feel good.
Yeah. When we have a huge increase in mental illness and depression in men over,
and suicide, right?
And suicide. Yeah. And you have to wonder, are those increases because the system is now pushing masculinity and men and the things that create that make men? Is it because they're pushing those things out of society and confusing genders? They're saying that you can do this or you can do that, and you can be a feminine man, and you can be or you could be, whatever you want to be, and there's no
structure to it anymore.
When you take out the gender and the role of the gender, you lose purpose.
Yeah, you really do. And structure.
And I think that's why we're seeing
chaos
in the youth of America that has no direction and no purpose other than destruction and violence and lack of accountability. It's because when you remove the father figure that shows what it means to be a leader, a caregiver, someone who a protector, someone who can solve the problems, somebody who is accountable for not only themselves but the people that are directly in their family.
Yeah.
When you start to take all that away, they have no role model, and they have nobody that has showed them this is what it means to be a man. This is what it means to enter manhood. And now you have a group of kids that grow up and they never even arrive to that.
Yeah.
It's not even like it's delayed. They just don't ever get there.
No. Well, and as a daughter who was raised by that type of man, there's so much of who my dad was that has greatly affected who I am as a person.
For sure.
And I'm not his son. You know what I mean? I was not raised in the same way that my brother was probably raised by my dad, but like I'm just speaking from firsthand that like this isn't just a son's thing either. Like the daughters are also going to greatly benefit from having a dad in that type of a role in their childhood as well too.
Oh, 100%. I
was listening to this podcast today, and I know this might like some people might get their panties in a wad over this one. But it's a Christian podcast, and one of the guys he's a pastor, and they were talking about like raising sons and raising your sons to be protectors and to have this like pride in protecting their family. And he was saying that he was at church and he was preaching, and somebody ran into the building and yelled, "I'm going to kill Matt," I forget his last name, Matt whatever's entire family today, and then ran back out. And he was like, oh my gosh. And like immediately they stopped everything. He ran as fast as he could to the parking lot, got in the car and started driving home. But he has 2 sons. And he was like, boys, listen, this is what just happened. I need you to go grab both the rifles. You're going to load them and you're going to stand at the front door. And if anybody's going to come near our family, you're going to take them out. And you know what the boys said to him? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. And it gave me goosebumps because I was like, that's just not, that would never like happen in your average like family today. We would all lose our fucking minds over that story because we've gotten so far away from that core concept of just like this family sanctity and like you protect each other no matter what, and we have each other's backs, and there's this like, I don't know, respect for who your father is, and this like desire to fill his shoes and protect your family as a man, as a young boy, you know.
Well, not to question, like they didn't question, they didn't go, but wait, why are we?
Yeah, they didn't panic or like, and you know what?
Yes, sir.
And he said when he got home, there they were standing there like this at the front door waiting for
amazing.
him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It gave me good. I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that
awesome. Is so cool. I love that. Like on a deeper level, like I love everything that like stands for.
For sure. That's the message.
That's the message, right?
That. Yeah.
I thought it was really cool.
That is very cool.
So what about, do you believe, since we're speaking on like masculinity, that if men don't have this like defined role that we're like kind of speaking on, are they gonna default to like self-distraction and like passivity, like screens and substances and porn and all of that, you know? Like are men gonna be way more susceptible to those things?
Absolutely. I mean, we're susceptible enough even with good role models.
Yeah.
Even with the roles being set in place from a young age, you are definitely going to be more resistant, and you're going to have a better compass when it comes to navigating those difficulties of a modern time with modern technology and temptation. You'll have a moral compass, and you'll have the tools that you need to avoid those things. But yeah, absolutely. If you don't have anybody who's kind of laid out the guidebook on what it means to be a man and what your responsibilities are and what your priorities are and where they should lie, then you're going to fall for that 100% of the time.
And what about like in a marriage? If you're already a husband and a dad, and because you see this so much, like more often than not, the dad's the one that's cheating, and they have little kids at home, you know, and they're off, you know, having multiple affairs sometimes, or they're the ones that, you know, have the porn addictions and the vices and all of that. Like, do you think that if they had better defined roles around their like duty and responsibility as the man in their family, do you think that there would be less of that happening?
Yeah, I do. I think that not only defined roles, I think that if those roles were more traditional and more fulfilling with purpose, because I think that we're like we were saying earlier, I think that both roles, men and women, are lacking purpose because we've confused the two. And it's become more and more standard for both parents to work. And it becomes a 2-income family where you're getting 2 parents that aren't there. The kids that end up getting raised by the system, they're in daycare, they have to go to school full time, a nanny, whatever. So you're losing the purpose of your role in the family. And I think that's having a detrimental effect on not only the parents who are overworked and under respected by their spouse because they don't have the time to. And then it's also affecting your children because now they're put into a system where they're susceptible to the ideas and the ideals of that system. And that's scary.
The exact system that have mom and dad outside of the house. You know. In the hamster wheel trying to like.
That say you need to be sitting in an office for 90% of your day. And when you go home to see your kids, you're tired and grumpy and you don't like what they're learning, but they're telling you stuff that you don't agree with, but they're telling that to you because you put them in the situation.
I know. Oh my God.
It's a vicious cycle.
It is such a vicious cycle. And it makes me really feel for the families where like we, you know, I fully understand or fully see that I am fortunate that you make enough money for us to like survive in the average world, that I can like stay home. Like it's just, it's not something that we have. Of course we make sacrifices and we have to, you know, budget and plan things out and stuff, but we're not like, you know, putting ourselves under so that I can stay home to,
sure. Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of families that really are battling that right now. It's not because
and it's not even their fault.
No, and it's not because they don't agree with us or align with all of this.
We're very lucky and fortunate.
Yeah.
That I make enough to where you can stay home and we don't go under.
And it shouldn't be that way. I hate using the word lucky. Like, this shouldn't be a matter of luck. You know what I mean? This should be the standard.
Yeah.
And it used to be. Yeah. I mean, it used to be. We've just gotten so far away from it.
Yeah. So looking at men and women, now we've kind of spotlighted men. What do you think, like looking at today's like modern mom or modern wife, do you think that most moms and women are satisfied in the roles that they have today?
That's a hard one, because I think even the women that like are in this situation where they're like full on homemaker, home with the kids, whatever, there's still this weird lingering verbiage that like, but we're supposed to hate it. Like, that's how you're supposed to feel. So even if you're in it, you better go on Instagram and share like how fucking hard it is and how miserable you are and how much you just need a break and
how tired you are.
How tired I am. I'm so exhausted. And you're going to like give a full documentary of how your kids slept last night, so everybody knows you're running on minimal sleep, and that like you're going to post a picture of like the only meal I've had today are grapes off my toddler's plate, and all the moms are going to laugh and be like, ha ha ha, me too. You know, it sucks out here. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. Like, even those of us who are in the roles, and I'm sure deep down are feeling the fulfillment and know that this is right and where we want to be, and we don't want to be anywhere else.
Right.
There's still this weird, like, you're supposed to hate it though.
Yeah, there's like a cultural standard that says you're supposed to be a little miserable.
Because it's one of those things where like, if I went to social media and was like, I stayed home today all day with both my kids, and I intentionally took my oldest out of the school system so I can spend every single day with her and I can homeschool her and have control, and like, our baby wakes up multiple times a night. You know, I know I'm not getting enough sleep and a lot of my needs aren't met, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because like, I love this so much, and it's the most fulfilling thing that I've ever done. And it doesn't discredit that it's hard and it's messy sometimes, but like, oh my gosh, I'm having such a good time. And like, it genuinely makes me sad to think that this time in my life is going to end.
Right.
People would fucking come at me.
Yeah.
They would be like, how dare you say that moms are supposed to just be tired and push through? Right. How dare you say that this isn't the hardest thing we've ever done? How dare, you know what I mean? Like, it's wild.
No, it is.
And I see it all the time on social media, and I'm always like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, and I've been caught up in it before. Like,
I mean, when you're constantly hearing it, you start to believe what you're hearing.
But you think it's the way that you're supposed to, like...
Right. When you're told, like, you're overworked, you should be, you know, you should have more freedom as a woman. Your roles of a mother are being taken for granted, and you're doing... When in reality, it's a blessing to be a mom. It's a blessing to be the caretaker of the household. It's a blessing to have healthy children running around and driving you crazy and making a mess.
Yeah, they really want us to believe that our home is a cage.
Well, yeah, for women, 100%, yeah.
But maybe it's our kingdom. Like, this is where we're supposed to be. This is the work that we're supposed to be doing. Like, this is the most important thing that we could do as women.
Yeah.
But instead, we've been pushed out of the homes. Like, we've been convinced that this is not where you belong. If you're a true feminist, if you believe in women power, you better get yourself out there. Like, you better go to school, put yourself in debt, get a fancy degree, put some letters after your name.
Be a boss, babe.
You can't tell me that you're only going to carry your husband's last name.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, you shouldn't take his last name at all. Keep your own. That's more important. Like, you should be Dr. maiden name, not, you know what I mean? Like, that's where you're going to find your value.
Yeah.
But like, it's a weird thing for women, because you can never really win, because you would also be absolutely like obliterated if you did all that and then didn't have children and a family. Right. Then you're selfish, and you're like you really can never quite win as a woman in the modern world. It's very strange. You're supposed to like do it all. but like you'll never do it all right.
No, there's always going to be somebody who's pointing a finger and saying, well, but look at this.
Yeah.
She didn't do this.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I just think that we've been so pushed out. And I was that girl. I was that girl for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I came from a family that was big on, education and grades and a degree and all of that. And so of course that's the path that I walked. I would have conversations with boyfriends where I would be like, okay, well, I definitely want to have kids someday. I know that for sure. So like if you don't want to have kids, it's a non-negotiable for me. Typically they'd be like, yeah, I want to have kids. I'm like, cool. I just want to be clear though, like I'm not staying home. Like I just want to make sure that you know that like I have value and what I do is important and that like I want to have a career too. And you don't get to tell me that I'm supposed to like leave all that behind and like raise our children. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now looking back at that, I'm like, what the fuck?
Because the systems have sold you on the fact that your place in the home is not a place of purpose.
100%.
It's a place of confinement and a place where you're supposed to keep quiet and only focus on womanly duties, when in reality, those womanly duties and motherly duties and, like wife, those
like a homemaker,
like spouse duties, homemaking duties,
yeah,
are so fulfilling. And which, I mean, you've come to find out, like, yeah, you love it.
I love it.
And you wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I really wouldn't.
No. And I think there's an attractiveness to, like the selling of independence and like being your own person, and like they attach it to freedom.
Yes.
They try to sell you on the fact that like if you're independent and you're a woman with a job and you have your own career and you make your own money, that it's a life of freedom. But what they're doing is they're actually creating another slave to taxes, to the corporation, to the grind, to the hustle.
Yep.
And then you lose all of the aspirations of being a mom and being the homemaker and being the literal foundation of the family.
Yeah, then they're burning down family units, and then who pays the price? Our children, which is the next generation.
Yeah.
Like, what a great way to take out 2 generations and with one throw.
Oh yeah. Right.
And I think this idea of freedom, when you say that, it really like strikes something for me as a woman and a mom, and I feel like it's almost very intentional when it comes to using that as the dangling piece for women, because freedom is the first thing to go out the door as a mom.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's the very first thing to go out. I can't take a shower when I want to anymore. I have to plan everything I do around other people's now like schedules and needs and naps. And you know what I mean? Like I cannot wake up in the morning and be like, here's my to-do list. I'm going to hit it this way. That's what works best for me today. And I'm going to take a nice shower. I'm going to drink my warm coffee. I'm going to eat a nice nourishing breakfast. And then I'm going to like go get it done. You know what I mean? Like that's not an option anymore. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, that's just how it is. And I feel like we're so afraid to like, God forbid something be like a little bit uncomfortable, know? Right. And then we're sold this dangling carrot of like, but freedom lies over here.
Right.
All you have to do is put your children somewhere else, but don't worry, we'll take care of them. We'll raise them good for you. And then you come over here and do this really fulfilling thing that's going to make you feel so good. You're going to have so much freedom.
And here's how much it costs.
Yeah. Yeah. But little do we realize that you're literally trading in the most fulfilling work you could possibly have as a woman for this soul-sucking experience of working some corporate job where the second they need to make some cuts, they're going to fire at. They don't give a shit about you.
No,
like
there's no.
And then you're going to come home and you're going to have no family unit to come home to because that's going to be wrecked, in the process of it.
Well, and they're literally creating the next round in the systems that you put your children in.
Yep, exactly.
And it's just a vicious cycle.
It's so nuts.
And the more we talked about this earlier, but like the more we dive into the difference, like when you start to kind of go down these different rabbit holes of ideas and thought processes of why do they do this and why do they do that? And why is the system structured this way? And you start to see all these little like dark tidbits of why the system works a certain way. And none of it is to benefit you or your family.
Not at all.
It's literally to suck you dry of money and keep you a slave to the system.
Yeah. It's really scary, honestly.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Yeah. Who knew that we would get to this place where like having a family and a marriage, like a strong marriage, is like this huge rebellion against like society.
Yeah.
Like we're rebels because we don't just love each other, we genuinely like each other, and we want to spend time with each other. And we have children that we like prioritize over literally anything and everything else.
And how many people do we know that they're obviously not openly telling you that they don't like their spouse,
but it's obvious.
Yeah. And like they're living their life to get that guy's trip or the girl's trip or the outing or a night out, whatever it is, to escape from the person that they're supposed to be in love with and growing with and partnering with and raising families with. And that to me that's hell. Like living in a home and raising a family with somebody that you actually don't want to be around.
I know. And
you don't have the same ideals and you don't have the same, inspiration, and you don't have the same mission or family dynamic. That sounds terrible.
I couldn't even imagine.
And what a way to get sucked even further into the system of outsourcing your dopamine hits and giving this false sense of what's right for you and who cares about my wife or my family because I don't even align with her. Yeah. That sounds terrible.
That's so sad when you like say it that way.
And I think it's more often than not, it is that way now.
It's really common.
Yeah.
It is common.
And that they've sacrificed their happiness in a partner and what they actually want for a family just to have companionship or have somebody there or have a facade of what that actually is supposed to be.
Yeah, I think it's almost the facade to kind of create this image of like, well, I mean, we look good together.
My friends got married. They had kids.
Yeah. And I found somebody and
this person was willing to do it.
Yep. And then we had some kids because that's what you do. And now like we can take a photo and put it on Instagram and people are like, well, hey, really cute family.
Yeah.
And then you're like, cool, I did it. I made it. I arrived. I did it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's a big deal. Like obviously picking the person and, we've seen it firsthand with people that don't like their spouse. But
and like crazy high divorce rates now.
Yeah, crazy high divorce rates. But I also I like reflect on looking at like the younger generation and how they're doing things. And it's a little like it seems very surface level and tricky. And I'm not saying that there's no healthy relationships in the younger generation, but I think that the environment that they're being raised in and the way that they're meeting people now is a little bit it's so foreign to what's actually natural.
Yeah. I think there's a big problem with social media. I think that social media is damaging in a lot of ways. But when it comes to like relationship building and even marriage, there's a lot of layers there with social media.
Yeah.
I think that there's a problem in general with, and it's hard because I'm a woman. I don't know what it's like from the men's perspective. I don't know what the women are like out there. I only know how I am. You know what I mean? I know I'm, rare. But from like the boys' perspective, there's such this unrealistic idea of like what a woman is, what they look like, what they're meant for. You know what I mean? Like, of course, that's always been there. Like, it just in different ways. Social media is just like
exponentially grown that.
In a huge ways, because you go to Netflix and there's all these shows of like girls that all have the Botox and the boob jobs and the whatever. And are making tons of money being on these TV shows.
Yeah.
It's like you follow these people through these dating shows and they look different every time you see them somewhere.
You're like, wait, that's the same person?
You're like, what? Like,
yeah, one nose job later and some Botox injections.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they look like a completely different person.
And a new ass. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I think naturally, of course, men are more visual than women are. Like,
sure.
But there's this kind of play on that of now, like they can see these things. They have such easy access to all of it. And then there's, the porn is this huge thing now. I mean, I don't know what the statistics are on men with like porn addictions and
I'm sure it's pretty
consumption,
high.
But I'm sure it's very high that men now think that. And then dating apps, this like easy access to be able to just go to this pool of women, and you could like have one in your bed by tonight. Like you could download Tinder by noon and have a girl set up to be in your bed by 5 p.m. Like it's crazy.
I actually heard something kind of interesting about like dating apps and that whole system of like dating through platforms like Tinder and that type of thing. They were saying that there is a small percentage of men on those apps that are dating all of the same women. So there is a percentage of men on the apps that are more attractive and appealing. And so they're going on this app and they're getting
picked up by the same.
They're getting picked up by the same women because they present as attractive and they are attractive men, whatever, and they look like they got it all going on. So there's a small percentage of men that are actually getting girls from the app, but they're all rotating through these same men, and it's not even actually about a relationship for them. It's these men that know they can pull these girls out of the app. And it's creating this very weird situation where, you have these other guys who aren't getting any attention and they're on the app and they're swiping and they're not getting any matches, at least for the ones that they want, because they're striving for the ones that might be out of their league looks wise. But then there's the attractive men that are pulling all of those girls, but then dropping them after they get what they want, which is, at the end of the day, it's getting laid. It's kind of crazy. But we also we have this situation where you are not building a relationship based off of personality and ideology and future and family and all of that, procreation. It's based off of image. Usually 90% of the time for the younger generation, it's is this person going to elevate me in my images?
What am I going to benefit from this person?
Yeah. What are they going to bring to my image? And how is this going to benefit me? And I think that's really, it's creating a toxic environment for relationships where these people aren't dating for longevity and partnership. They're dating for image and a quick fix.
And even if there could be a potential for something like that, the problem is the access is just too easy and wide. And as humans, it's hard to, you find someone, you go on the date with them and you're like, oh, actually there could be some potential here. But then all of a sudden you got that itch where you're kind of like, but what else could be on the app? Like what else could be on whatever, you know what I mean? I could literally pull it up and swipe and you know what? Actually, like everything's pretty dang good here, but like like her nose could be a little different, or like
her boobs could be a little bigger.
They could be a little bigger. I actually kind of like blondes a little more, or whatever, and then be like, nah, I'm just gonna go back to the drawing board and go swipe through and then pick their next one.
Yeah, like you're really cool, and I thoroughly enjoy hanging out with you, and we have a lot in common. But I just swiped right on this chick, and we actually matched, and she's a little bit more my type.
Yeah, exactly. That's my type. Checks a couple more boxes.
And that's what you hear on the dating shows.
I know. Every single time we watch any of these dumb dating shows, it's always, what's your type?
A new bombshell walks in.
Yeah.
He's my type.
And
it's like, he's your fucking type. You said that about the last guy, and he looked nothing like him.
Nothing like him.
Yeah. And it's all, when they explain their type, it's never about who they, like what they want in a person or their personality or their ideology in life or what they want. It's always about the looks. Oh, well, he's got light eyes and he's dark and he's tall and he's muscular and his abs, and it's like, that's the problem.
And all these things fade. Like if you genuinely want to marry somebody, and like be in it for the long run, those things are going to fade.
Yeah.
You cannot build a marriage merely off of like, how does this person look standing next to me?
Right.
How do we look in our Instagram profile picture? Like, how hot are they? How can they benefit me? What can I get out of this?
When do you really want to be married to someone who's that vain? Like, you're solely picking the person to boost your own ego and image.
Yeah. But we live in such a like weird image forward society now because of social media.
Yeah.
Like, and then what's challenging too is, there's so many couples out there who I have a funny feeling are not having a thriving marriage by any means, but they can go to social media and present in any way that they choose. And you see you consume all of this on social media as well. And then it just makes you think like, well, I want that. How do I find that? And then you're out here seeking something that doesn't even actually really exist.
Yeah.
And you're going to pass by all these opportunities, but you don't realize that it actually takes like work, and you have to actually like put things into this marriage to create something good. You're just kind of swiping left until you find something that like clicks the way that you're being presented it on like socials.
Yeah, 100%. And
you're never going to be fully like fulfilled.
No.
Because you have this weird like expectation and standard set that like no normal person's ever going to meet that.
No one's ever going to fulfill that because it's not real.
And then knowing that like when it doesn't work out, you can easily just go back and like keep looking for something, Well,
that's why these dating apps, they're not selling you on love and longevity. They're selling you a subscription plan to potentially just jump back into the pool and get the dopamine hit and swipe right.
Not potentially. They need to keep you. Subscription models don't work well if they know you're only going to last a month.
Right. Right.
They need to know that they have a long-term customer.
Well, in the way that they've set it up, they know that the turnaround time is going to be you're going to come back to the app.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to come back to the app because you're addicted to the hit of a new girl that, oh my God, she liked me. I liked her.
Yep.
We matched.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not going to work out, but you know what?
Yep.
I'll live for that next one.
Yeah, it's the dopamine hits, man. There's so
crazy.
many. And with these young generations where their like brains aren't fully developed, like they can't kind of discern those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
All they know is that it makes me feel good. And I want more of it.
Well, then what happens when they grow up? And by grow up, I mean, like they're not even like they're adults, but they're not.
Yeah.
What happens when they grow up and they want more and they want fulfillment and they want to start a family and they want to actually get to know somebody and date somebody for who they are?
Yeah.
Do they even know how to do that?
I don't know. It's kind of scary, honestly.
I don't think they do.
I don't like the thought, like just even thinking of like our daughters growing up and having to like date in the dating pool. Like,
I know.
I was having the conversation with one of the dads in our co-op, and I was like, can we just like make a pact that like 10, 15 years from now when our kids are all older, can we just like make like a Facebook group and like all our kids can just date each other? Because at least I know that you guys are all like normal people raising like good kids.
Yeah.
And we can just skip putting them out into the real world and them having to like sort through all that,
I mean, I do have faith that there are still strong men and women that are prioritizing raising productive, good intentioned men and women.
For sure. But it's still, even then, the greatest effort, it's hard. There's just so many things that are working against us.
And if your kid has a phone, you can do them as much as you want.
Yep.
But they're seeing something that
if your kid is going to public school.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, like, not to go down this hole, but like our daughter is homeschooled. And then when we come home, like she then goes and plays with the kids on the street who are all in public school systems. And then she's coming home to me being like, what's 6-7? I'm like, excuse me, what?
Did she ask you that?
Yes. And I was like, excuse me, what did you just say? Like,
you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, this was just a couple days ago.
6-7, we're like, nobody knows.
Yeah, like
no one knows.
But she like brings these random things home, and then these like certain mannerisms or certain words she says, or this whole like I'll kill you thing lately. I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like,
No.
But that's what I mean is like, even with like best intentions, it's a freaking crazy world out there.
It is
my point.
And
but I digress.
Yeah, no, you're right. But it's also like the friends in the group of people that your children hang out with do have a huge impact.
Yeah.
But also going back to that, you're raising great, decent humans, but they have a phone, and the community on their phone might be louder than your voice.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thought.
It's a really scary thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was already asking me about a phone the other day too, yesterday. No. And it's probably because some 7-year-old she knows has one. And I was just like, no. I was like, I'm just shutting it down right now. The answer is no. She's like, well, can I be 8 when I get a phone? Can I be 10 when I get a phone? I'm like, no. The answer is just no.
No, we're moving to the woods. Pack your shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, and you'll thank me later. Okay, honey?
Yeah.
Exactly. No, but like for real.
Yeah.
Well, then what about like the kind of evolution of marriage? Because I don't think that we've always been this way.
No.
I think that there used to be a time where like families were America. Like,
yeah, like the foundation of America and civilization was family. Like again, it comes back to everybody had a role, everybody had a purpose.
Yeah.
And you had to work together. Like you had children to help with your farm, help with your, help hunt and gather and prepare food and get water and help mom with the chores and do all the stuff. Like you had to have a cohesive group.
Well, because the family unit used to be built upon, like literally rooted in those concepts of like there was shared mission, there is legacy, there is land, like you were saying, like this bigger, there was a lot of farming and stuff, you know, and everybody had roles in that, and that it's not what the family unit is anymore. Like
no,
we're now, built upon like aesthetics and lifestyle and
chemistry
and personal satisfaction. Like that's not what the family is built upon.
It has changed substantially. Family, like marriage, used to be a necessity. Now it's become like a false sense of success almost.
Yeah.
To like you're just participating. Like you're participating in this family group that doesn't have any purpose.
Yeah, but like at least on Facebook, you can mark married,
right.
And you can put a picture of the kids,
right,
or send out the Christmas card.
Yeah,
then you did it. Like you arrived, you checked the boxes, you did what you were supposed to do.
And when I say it used to be necessity, like you had to find somebody to procreate with, and then you had to find somebody to take care of your children, and you had to find a husband who could provide and protect you and made you like fill those roles.
I think one of the words that like really sticks out to me, just because it's such a powerful, heavy word, is legacy. I feel like we don't really like view family as legacy anymore. Like I can't help but feel that if we were viewing family as our legacy, we wouldn't be making a lot of the decisions that we're making.
No, I agree with that completely. I think that when you start to look at it as like, how am I going to be remembered?
Yeah.
Or how is my family going to be remembered? Yeah. Or what are my kids going to say about me?
Or what am I, like, in what way am I shaping my children to like go into the world, and like what am I leaving behind?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I want our kids to look back and be like, man, my parents, they, in a world that was telling them not to do it, they did it differently, and it feels good.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That they're going to look back and be like, man, my parents, like they were a little fucking crazy, but like they were brave. They were bold. Like they weren't afraid to
say no and do things differently.
And they weren't afraid to like, get backlash for it or weird looks for it or be questioned for it, or, they were fully confident in their decisions and their
ability to think outside the box.
Yeah, and that they did it all though for us.
Right.
You know, like they're going to be like, my parents did those things because they wanted to leave this legacy behind, because they wanted us to not be swallowed by this system. They wanted us to also be big and bold and brave and find happiness and like fulfillment out of life in a world that like so greatly doesn't want you to feel that way.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yeah. So I think really what it comes down to, and what this episode kind of came from initially,
find yourself a wife.
Find yourself a Morgan. No.
Sorry, she's off the market. Good luck.
Find yourself somebody that you can start a podcast with.
That's right.
And, you know, hopefully you don't want to kill each other in the process. But really though, like, you know, we have a lot of fun together. Yeah. This has become like one of our favorite things to do. If you don't have something that you're doing with your wife or your husband that you get enjoyment out of outside of, you know, your everyday BS, you got to find something, and hopefully you're married to somebody that you want to do things with.
Yeah, I hope it's motivation, that if your marriage currently, either or both of you feel more strongly this desire to escape it.
And we're not perfect.
Nope. I just hope that you can get to a point where like what you really want to do is stay up past your bedtime.
Yeah.
And close yourself into your guest bedroom and sit down with a microphone and talk shop with your husband.
That's it. And if you're not there, and you know, you don't have the desire to do that with the person that you're married to, take out a life insurance policy on it.
Yep. Perfect. Yep, that's perfect. Great advice, honey. Yeah. Really good.
And then you rich.
Perfect. And then all your problems are solved.
And then you get on Tinder.
And actually, now we're going to drop our ad for Tinder. Yeah. Use our discount code, Lone Wolf. Oh, we're tired. Yep. We need to go to bed.
Over and out.
If you feel at home here, leaving a 5-star review helps other families find their way too.
Come hang out with us on socials at Lone Wolf Podcast, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's next.
Remember, sometimes you have to stray from the pack to discover where you truly belong. Until next time, loners.